So, what we have today is this hunk of shit here had just, I mean, the wheels don't look too bad. Wheels are okay from the 80s, 70s, whatever. But this is a Triumph hardtail that someone had just kind of mocked up and put on this XS. So the issue with putting the TC Bros hardtail on there was the measurement that you're supposed to use, which is like the stock exhaust tabs, were already removed. So what I had to do was the lower engine mount, I had to use my other frame up there and measure how far it was up there from this the middle of this engine mount to a point on the stock exhaust bracket, because this one's already cut off, like I said. And then using the TC Bros instructions, I had to measure 3/4 of an inch past that exhaust bracket and cut. So I used that frame and measured from here to the point that they said on the instructions. It looks pretty good, but we are having an issue. So I think what I'm gonna do is cut off another 1/2 inch or so and see if I can't scoot this closer, and then go ahead and start tacking everything in place. Shit. Okay, so everything's cleaned up. Now it's time to get the engine in to use it as a template. And then, well, I'm gonna get the front end off, then get the engine in, use it as a template over there, use the engine as a template, get it tacked up, and then pull the engine back out, make sure everything's straight and the way I want it, and then finish with it. So I forgot to mention another thing about this quirky frame was the front motor mounts. I don't know a whole lot about XSs. This is my first XS build. I'm stupid. I like to do things willy-nilly. But I had no idea what the front motor mount looked like. Nothing like a Harley or anything like that. But see if you guys can guess what is different about this compared to a normal XS, and then I'll show you. So here's the front motor mount. Well, here's the frame and the front motor mounts. Okay, kind of hard to see because everything's black, but there's the case or the block where it mounts, and then I assumed that those 4 points was where bolts would go. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. So I just didn't know what it looked like. And I have 3 XSs laying around. I was like, man, I gotta have, I gotta have a mount somewhere. Well, the only one that looked remotely similar was cut in half. I was like, oh, this has gotta be it. Well, in no way, shape, or form was it going back into this frame. I was like, what in the heck? So I Googled it to see what it looked like, and it was it. Well, I found an aftermarket one, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get an aftermarket one, and it'll look better. I could have made tabs and all that stuff, which I was gonna end up doing, but I found these online. I'll see if I can't remember who makes these. It's either Hughes or Mike's XS or something like that. These are some pretty trick deals here. Nice welds, everything like that. Well, I got them in and they wouldn't fit. And I was like, what in the hell is going on? Well, long story short, someone has squeezed the down tubes together at the top part of the motor mount. And if you look here, you'll see both of these are even and these are not. So what I had to do was take this beautiful $170 motor mount and cut it. And I had to cut the bungs off of it. Obviously I still got to pretty it up. I had to cut the bungs completely off the top and then take these bungs halfway down. But after I did that, oh, and I had to cut the whole bracket apart and extend the lower part of it in order to make it fit. One day I'll learn and stop doing this random. Nah, I won't. Never mind. Okay, so I'm gonna go get a bite to eat, and then we will finish getting the back half of this frame on.
Well, Bubble Bass, what do you think?
Only one thing. You forgot the pickle!
Okay, so put the motor in, use it as a jig, and got the hardtail tacked up. Well, more than tacked up, honestly. I knew it was going to go there, so with a little coercion, it is now partially welded. And I'm going to flip it over, go ahead and semi-finish weld some of this, just so I know it don't go anywhere. And then we're probably going to put the engine back in. I had a purpose for that. Oh, I'm going to cut this support and this gusset, and I am going to figure out some different gusset because that looks like garbage.